My name's Chad Taylor. I'm a senior at Elkins High School. I am your typical normal student athlete. School and, sports, it's a heavy load to take. And like any teenager, I don't, like waking up for school, stay out late on the weekends with friends. But aside from school and football, I also, have a job, have to have a little bit of side money to have things that I want to do for fun. I love working out. I always work out in my free time, but you have to juggle studying and school also. On the weekends, I'd go and hang out with friends and kind of just relax and play guitar and maybe take some stress out and play some video games. Juggling school and football is a hard task. Grades are just about important as anything else, and that's something that I've learned, and football has taught me a lot, how to become a better person, how to work harder, and to maintain a hard work ethic and to never quit or give up. Well, looking back on my life, there was a dark moment back when I was in middle school when I was just transitioning to a new school. Some of my grades were low, but not, too low. And also on the side, I didn't really was addicted to pornography, but, I would go look at it and kind of, watch it, and it became, not an everyday thing, but an occasional thing. When I got caught, the disappointment in my parents' eyes and their tone of voice and how disappointed they were with me kind of pushed me over the edge to start thinking of terms of ending my life. I was in my room. I believe my parents were gone, and I sat there in my room, and I had a knife that my dad gave me for when we went fishing. I kind of sat there and I looked at it and went and decided that I wanted to go through with it, and I put it up to my throat, and I sat there, and something always held me back. And I had this deep pull inside me that said, don't do it. And I ended up putting the knife down and started to think, and I thought, okay, I'll give it another year, see what happens. That transition from 8th to 9th grade year, I kind of went through another struggle again. Had those thoughts creep back into my life. It always came up when I was going into a new school, and the second attempt was the same thing, same situation in my room, but this time it wasn't something holding me back inside. It was myself holding me back, saying, how do you want to be remembered? My sophomore year started out pretty good. I have, a lot of friends, and I had a girl come up to me and tell me about C2. And she told me it's a campus ministry and how we meet every Tuesday and kind of hang out and, share the gospel and worship, and it was a lot of fun. And so I took her up on her word, and I decided to go and check it out. When I walked through the door, I could feel, kind of a welcome, warmth type feeling that you get when you come home from school or come home from a bad day. And I looked around, there was a lot of people that I knew that I was really good friends with that were there. And it was cool to see, these people are really passionate about Christ. And, I've gone to church, and I kind of had a little bad moment in middle school, so I want to take this further and, see what it's all about. And I started going constantly and hearing a lot of people's stories and their testimonies and what they do on mission trips and stuff was, starting to change how I viewed things. Gospel night, you hear a verse, he's really talking to me. That affects me because I just went through a rough weekend or a rough week last week, and I feel like God's trying to talk to me and comfort me, saying, everything's going to be okay. Be optimistic and believe that tomorrow's going to be a new, better day. Seeing and having a chance to come to a place where you can gather with other Christians and being out of that darkness and getting into the light is a pretty big relief. As I continued going, I could feel Christ pulling more and more on my heart, and my junior year, I finally accepted Christ into my heart, and it was a whole new thing for me. At one of our C2 rallies, I ended up getting baptized, and that was really a huge turning point in my conversion, and it opened me up to be more optimistic. It made me stop falling back on the dark and bad thoughts and being really, pessimistic and hating everything and being to myself. And it really opened me up and said, well, I've heard people's stories. I've heard, what they've went through, and it's just the same type of struggle that I've had. It's just, a different person. Since my conversion, I've had a lot of blessings, and there's been times where I can feel that darkness try and, creep back in, but I know that having Christ in my heart and in my mind and believing that through Him, nothing really can stop me from going back to that. To me, being a Christian means that you have a relationship with Christ. You let Him into your heart and let Him lead you down your path, and you're optimistic about it, knowing that He knows what He's doing, and He's not trying to harm you or mislead you in any way, and that He's trying to help and guide you through your life. And it's an everyday decision to accept Him and say, today I'm going to glorify Christ. I'm going to glorify Him today. And you try and figure out a way that you can do that. And to me, that's what being a Christian is all about, living life for Christ.